Hello everyone. Today we're very excited to show you our newest addition to the Peec platform, brand perception. With brand perception, we want to help you answer the questions how AI systems are talking about you. Not only if they're talking about you, but at what attributes they are connecting to your brand and how they're positioning your brand against your competition. To do that, you don't have to do anything beyond setting up your project within Peec. Once you've done that, we will start running our brand perception prompts, which are running independently of your normal prompt set with 2 steps. The first step is understanding what attributes the different LLM systems are associating with your brand. And in the second step, we help you understand how well you're performing for each of those attributes against the most important competitors within the industry. The industry is the only important setup that you have to make for brand perception to work. You can very easily do that from the brand perception page. We even allow you to edit it up to 3 times and rerun brand perception. But let's look into the actual data. In this demo project where we're looking at Gymshark, the attribute that is most associated with this brand is fitness. You can see this in this overview, but also in this bar chart where we show you all of the attributes that are associated with your brand, and you can very easily understand which attributes the LLM is focusing on the most, as well as understanding the word terms behind those attributes. Next, we show you what the attribute is where you're performing the best against your competition. In the case of Gymshark, this is influencer or the focus on influencer marketing. The next one is the biggest gap. The biggest gap is describing the attribute where you are performing really well when only asked about your brand, but you're then not performing well when the LLM is asked which brands are the most important ones for that attribute within an industry. And lastly, in the overview, we're showing you who your strongest competitor is based on the average performance across all of the attributes identified by the LLM. Next, we can look into the brand shape. The brand shape helps you answer 2 questions. First, it gives you a very easy to understand view of your own brand shape. And then next, it allows you to compare yourself against competitors. You can at any time change the competitors that you want to look at. So in this case, instead of Alo Yoga and Lululemon, we might want to compare Gymshark to more established brands like Adidas and Nike. What is then super interesting to note here is that in the same way as your visibility changes a lot depending on which model you look at, the same is true for brand perception. So by default, we show you the average brand perception for all of the attributes across all of the models that you're tracking, but you can also look at it specifically for ChatGPT as well as AI mode or any other model that you're tracking. As you can see in the movement of this chart, the brand perception changes widely depending on the model that you're focusing on. The next chart that we present you here is the brand comparison by attribute. Similar to the brand shape, it helps you understand how you're performing for every single attribute against the most important competitors. You can also very easily understand which competitor is the strongest for which attribute. It also allows you to manage your attributes. You can rename them or you can add your own attributes that you know matter a lot for your brand and where you want to understand how you stack up against your competition in AI search. Lastly, we show you what sources are driving which attribute. By just one click on any of the attributes that we're surfacing here, you can understand the sources behind driving it. But how does this all become actionable? First, we want to define an attribute that we want to focus on. This can either be an attribute that you know that matters a lot for your target group, or you can just take the biggest gap. So let's go with that for Gymshark. We can focus on fitness. For that, we first want to understand for fitness specifically, how do I stack up against my competition? I can see that basically for all of the important competitors that matter in this view, I'm performing the worst. But why is that? For that, as I said before, we can just look into the sources. With just one click, we see which specific URLs and which types of URLs as well as domains are driving the perception for this attribute. Based on that, we can draft a content strategy and a PR strategy. You can do all that also via accessing this data via our MCP, API, or within the chat in Peec AI. So we're super excited to see how you're going to utilize that data and also to hear your feedback about brand perception.